All right, so just a quick little wrap up of Gremlin's first week. Like I said before, her first day she was very, very shy. Didn't really want a lot to do with me or anyone else. Pretty normal, especially for the little ones that are a little bit more nervous. So we just kind of took it easy, let her get to know me. We played around, very, very low criteria. Just wanted her to get used to me. This next day, I guess she got a little bit more trust in me, and she was much more biddable and wanting to do things with me. So that's where we are now. So this week has been centered around building her confidence, creating a relationship between her and I, and establishing a marker system. So a marker is a cue or sound or a word that marks a moment in time that I like something that she does. And for her, that's going to announce the arrival of food or reward, whatever that is. So essentially I use it to make sure that we are rewarding the right things instead of anything that happens between desired behavior and reinforcement. So for instance, if I put her into a sit, I don't want to, when I reach into my pocket, her come out of sit and me pay her for that behavior, her coming out of the sit. So I want to establish, create an association between marker word and food. So that way that marker takes on a good feeling. So that way when she does something that I like and she hears the marker, she's going to associate it with reward and continue to do it. So right now we're just shaping behaviors. I'm not naming anything. I'm not putting any commands on it. I'm trying to build a little bit of engagement and having her want to do things with me so that I can utilize that as training progresses. So there's a couple of different markers that we're going over, and they all have different meanings as far as expectation within behavior. So we have the word yes, which means girl, come take something from me. She does not have to do anything past hearing that marker other than come take food from me. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll say yes, and then I'll kind of move backwards and let her chase after my hand. I want to build a little work ethic and have her get used to following me around, moving around, and then I can increase the value of whatever I have to offer by making it fun and playful. So even if she's not very hungry, because she's so tiny, we have such a small window of before we reach satiation, because her stomach is probably just a little dot. So I want to make what I do have to offer much more fun by having it be playful and silly. So what I'm using that a lot for right now is shaping new behavior, so building enthusiasm when she's learning new things. And for her, because she is so sensitive to other dogs and other people, I think that's just that's a defensive behavior that she's learned because she's so tiny. She has to stand up for herself because she's so small. So what I'm using that for a lot right now is when she sees another person or another dog, as soon as she notices them, I'm saying that yes marker, so that way she can come take food from me. So I want to create a new association, one that is these things bring on food, and the food is sourced from whoever her handler is at the time. So I don't want to do a lot of, excuse me, I don't want to do a lot of having people outside people give her food and treats and things like that. I don't want to increase their value. I want the value to come from me. So every time she sees these things, she's going to, over time, learn to just look to me for something good, because that's the association that we've created. So that's what I'm doing right now before she has a chance to have any type of feeling towards these people, which we already know is defensive. She yells and she tries to make them leave her alone before they have a chance to even bother her in the first place. So as soon as she notices them, she sees them, yes, and she can come take food. So that's something that I really encourage you to do. You don't have to worry so much about the counter conditioning aspect of being around people, but every time you feed her, if you go to put the food bowl down, before you put the food bowl down, yes, put it down, let her eat. If you go to give her a treat, yes, and then offer her a treat. Yes happens first, brief pause, then the arrival of food. Just to help me strengthen that marker, and that will be something that will be super, super useful as we move forward with training. The other markers are going to be good, okay, and no. Good and okay they're kind of together. They are going to be our duration markers. So if I ask her to go into a behavior, right now I'm just luring, I'll demonstrate. Good means I'm going to bring some food to you, and I'm going to reward you for staying in behavior. So I can build out that behavior through a duration of time until I say, okay, for her to come out of behavior. So I want her to learn that when I put her into a behavior or a command, she is to stay in that behavior until I release her. Of course, we have to create that association before she even understands it. And then if no means exactly what you would think it means you did something wrong. I'm not gonna fiddle with that one too much just yet because I wanna really make sure that she actually knows what I'm asking before I tell her she's doing something wrong. So I'll just start kind of sprinkling it in here and there just with a little bit of leash pressure. So if I lure her into a sit and she comes up out of the sit, I'll say no and just kind of counter with a little bit of leash pressure. So luring her into that, good. As soon as her little butt hits the ground, good. Good. And she's doing much better than yesterday. Yesterday, good. She was having a tendency to, as soon as I put the food in front of her face, okay, she would take the food and get up. So the treats are really small because she's the tiniest. Good. So I'm saying good, and then bringing the food to her. Good. And over time, we'll start adding in movements. Good. Spacing out the frequency in which I reward. Good. Adding in more movements. Okay. Again, right now I'm not really worried too much about her breaking behavior because she doesn't know the context yet. And I'm just squatting because I get really lightheaded leaning over. Good. Good. Okay. Right here. Out. Yes. Yummy girl. Good job. And right there, I was just letting her figure out on her own. I didn't want to tell her to do anything. I just wanted her to offer me something different, and then I can reward that. So I want her to, when she comes to me, to auto sit in front of me. Not a huge deal, but just something that I like. And so instead of telling her to do it or forcing her to, I want it to be her idea so that she was more likely to do it again. Yes, good girl. Okay. Hopefully my camera doesn't disconnect. I have a phone call coming in. It's attached to the phone that I'm recording from. So, again, just a quick little recap of what we've been doing. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and question or in an email. You can call up, whatever. It's not anything too exciting just yet, but I really like to take my time with these fundamental things before moving on to more difficult things, especially with the dogs that aren't super confident. Just letting her try new things. Yes. Let her be her idea. That way she can be more likely to come out of her shell. Yes. Oh, so brave. Good girl. Okay. All right.